What? So that I have to say hello to ENORTAP in the chat. Welcome to another warm-up show with hockey coach Joe Code Frenchies clear for the beautiful country of Thailand. And we have to go all the way to Toronto to find a co-host for one more time this week. Our best friend, Mr. ENORTAP, is in the house tonight.
Hello, Coach, and hello, Hockey Nation. Welcome to Friday, January the 27th.
Exactly.
Big night tonight, too, eh? Eight games tonight, Coach?
Yeah, it's rare where the Friday usually 5 game, 3 game, 4 game, but it's normal.
Because of the All-Star break.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know what we're going to do, Mr. ENORTAP. 11 days off for the Montreal Canadiens after next week. So it will be interesting to see that. Some of them will be glad to have those kind of the rest for the team. But look, we have, of course, a great evening last night. What a great night, last 9 game. And it was only, who we said before the night yesterday, said, who is not going to tank? Nobody tank in an NHL. Gary Bettman said that last night. Nobody tank. And you can see the Columbus, the Chicago, the Arizona, the Anaheim, and the Montreal Canadiens, all of them got a point at least or 2 points last night. What a great night of hockey. And this is about at the end of the day. But great night about hockey, Mr. ENORTAP, equal great people in the chat. And that's what we got here at the Hockey Nation Live Show. And let's talk about the first of all, our friend Alan Barnes is in the house, Mr. ENORTAP.
Welcome, Alan.
Notre ami, Denis Rodrigue. Welcome back in the house, Denis Rodrigue. A great performer of the Hockey Nation Live Show. It's funny, Mr. ENORTAP. We have my ACAM is my software I use. Has been on the beta for the last 3 months, and now they released a new one where it's it's called 4.0. And I can do all the kind of stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I just did something. I can move the comments straight in front of the computer like that.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. That's a good idea.
So I don't have to click on many things. So anyhow, Mr. Rory back in the house. McNally, Mr. ENORTAP. What a great back with us. We miss him a lot. Hopefully you're doing well, Rory. And the health is good. And Happy New Year. And we miss you, buddy. You've been with us last season, Mr. ENORTAP, many times. And glad to see him around. It was a pleasure. And we have the Captain Didi. Captain Didi is in the house, Mr. ENORTAP. Welcome back, the Captain. Maybe Captain now, we don't know. It's really interesting. We never know where Danny is. Could be in the garage. He could be in this car. It could be in the snow.
Mandarin.
It could be anywhere. You never know. Friday night for happy hour, Mr. ENORTAP. It looked like more shrimp to anything else, I believe, for him. But we have our friend John Mickelson is in the house.
Hey, John. Welcome.
He's busy. So Rory said he's really busy, Mr. ENORTAP. So we understand that. That's normal.
That's okay.
That's okay about this.
Anytime, Rory.
Absolutely. And the moderator, Run with Kings, 20, he knocked the door.
Welcome, Ron.
We have the Captain DD, but we have the Captain Kirk. Mr. K is in the house. Captain Kirk is in the house. Ryan Kirk is with us. And talking about the Captain, we need to talk about the Queen. The Mr. Queen, Ellen Keeve is in the house, Mr. ENORTAP. For Newfoundland.
Welcome, Ellen. Always great to have you.
Ron said, we are weak for hockey when it lows. You're absolutely right about this. It's really interesting. What about, we talk about the king, the queen. We talk about the biggest and everything happening over there in Texas. Mr. ENORTAP, a big fan of the Devils. The Devils are back on the ice back-to-back after a really bad game yesterday, 6-4 against the Nashville Predator. Mr. Joseph Laham is in the house.
Welcome, Joseph.
Great supporter of the Hockey Nation Live Show, Mr. ENORTAP. Always been with us many years. Talking about the supporter, talking about since the beginning, like Joseph at year number 1 from Finland, Jarmo Virtanen.
Moi, Jarmo. Welcome.
Talking about another moderator from upstate New York, ready to rock and roll tonight, Mr.
No.
Jose Duarte.
He's the assistant captain, coach. Welcome,
John said,
Jose.
my prediction really went south on me last night, but at least I have a spot to sit in the jet already. Here we go for John Mickelson about this one over there. And then we have Ron, and we have a couple of people. Oh, we have Mr. RJ, Mr. NOTAP, back in the house with an update. Thanks so much, RJ, for the update about the New York Rangers.
One and only, RJ.
All right, welcome. Talking about the supporter, talking about always show up when we turn on the switch at the Hockey Nation Show. I'm talking about William McClary.
How's it going, William?
Notre ami Claude Richard est avec nous ce soir. Welcome back, Claude. Always the one. Claude should participate with the prediction, Mr. NOTAP. He's always with us the night. He should be participate, and the best way to do this, Mr. NOTAP, it's easy. You just need to send an email, right?
Send an email to
right. That's right there. Right there.
At gmail.com. Everybody in our chat should participate.
Exactly. That'd be great, Claude. You can join us pour participer, nous envoyer un courriel à this email. This courriel, tu dis toutes les rencontres, les résultats des rencontres. That'd be great. You can participate and your name will be at the top over there. You don't want to go to jail. So listen in our tap. That's the only way. You don't want to go to jail. Listen in our tap. That's the best way to do that.
Here we go.
Joseph said to you, Mr. NOTAP, they have a really bad night, the Devils blue liner last night. It's one game I did not pay attention last night. I did not look the highlights a lot for Nashville yesterday. You're welcome, Claude.
Yeah,
always a pleasure.
That was a rare road loss for them because they're usually pretty strong on the road. But you know what? They ran into a hot Yossi Saros as well. So, you know, they were in the game, coach. It's just the third period.
Yeah. They come back 5-4. They try to get that back again. Yeah. But they was chasing the score. That's the problem they got yesterday. They chasing the score about that.
Because in the third period alone, like they got outscored 3-1 by Nashville, but they outshot them. I think it was 21-9 or something.
Yeah.
So Saros really saved the day for them.
I think the Devils was 0-6 in Nashville, no?
I don't recall offhand, but it was something like that, very close to it.
Anyhow, Mr. NOTAP, the winner last night is Gary C. With not only he got the goal on the boss, but of course he got Mr. NOTAP the hat trick of the Hockey Nation Show warm-up show last night with the boss. He got the right score. He got the total score last night. Congratulations, Gary C. You get a free pass. Put this in your pocket. You never know when you can use it. It's something you can use at any time. So, of course, not many people last night have a really 500 successful night, unfortunately. And but people wake up this morning said, "Oh, I'm 2-7. Oh my God, I'm going to the jail." No, because we have worse at you last night with 1-8. I put 1-6. I apologize. I just see that about this. So congratulations, everybody, last night. And the good news for Mr. NOTAP, do you know what?
What's the good news?
But you have to do it again tonight. It's 0-0. So it's a new way to maybe.
Yeah.
You know, it's every day like this. That's the beauty of what we do. That's the reason. And then Rory said, remember, Rory is a big fan of the St. Louis Blues, by the way. And we don't see anymore John Lowry. Remember, John Lowry was a big fan of the St. Louis Blues. Well, I just remember those kind of people and everything like that. But anyway, Mr. NOTAP, before we put the people in the bus, we have to talk about what happened last night. But before we start, Mr. NOTAP, we want to the start of the night, Mr. NOTAP. Schmalz, 4.3 goal, a hat trick. Vadreno, again, the Colorado Avalanche, an empty net to get his hat trick, and then RHP from the Montreal Canadiens, 3.2 goal, 1 assist. We have a lot of talk about what happening last night. And of course, we want to invite the people. Don't forget, please, to click on the likes. That will be helping us to grow as a channel. And Mr. NOTAP, what paid your attention last night between the 9 game or for the fact the team no tank?
Yeah, exactly. Three things I'm just going to briefly talk about. For me, I caught most of the Tampa Bay Boston game, and talk about a playoff atmosphere environment. That was it. Boston, I think, had won the previous two matchups between the two. I think Tampa Bay was really geared towards sending a message that everything is going to go through them as returning, not returning Stanley Cup champions, but a team that's been to the Stanley Cup champions the last 3 years and won two of those. And the message was sent loud and clear. But what a game. I think the shots on net were fairly equal, like 39-35, I believe. There was a lot of hitting in this game. There was a lot of, um, tough plays, a lot of block shots. It was your typical playoff matchup. And both teams, brought it to the table. You got to give credit to on both sides to the veterans because they all stuck. The veterans and their better players, they all came through and scored at key times, including the winner by Hedman close to the end of the third period there, with about 5 or 6 minutes left. But Brandon Point scored, Marchand scored. Brendan Eagle scored. Just a great game to watch. Both teams really played a fantastic game, and Tampa Bay extends their home winning streak now, I believe, to, I want to say 11 or 12 games. I'm not sure offhand which one it is, but uh, it, what I took away from it, Coach, was that as good as Boston is, and they're very good, they're probably, the top team in the league. They're having trouble to some degree playing teams that are have a big, mobile, uh, physical kind of defense. And Tampa Bay is that kind of team that has those kind of players. And the reason for that is because they have a habit of, those kind of players really have a habit of pushing Boston to the periphery, and they don't give them that inside game where they like to dominate a lot. A lot of goals that Boston scores are coming off of rebounds in front of the net, crashing the net, and you saw it yesterday. They just didn't really give Boston an opportunity to set up and do that. They pushed them always to the outside along the boards, and everything they shot pretty much was from the outside. The other game that was just as much of a playoff atmosphere was the Minnesota and Philadelphia game. Minnesota's been struggling all year long in 5-to-5 situations, trying to generate offense off of that. We saw 4 fights in that game, including the heavyweight match between Reeves and Delorier, which didn't disappoint. Minnesota really needed that game to sort of uh, get into back into a playoff spot, and they came through with that. But it took them overtime, and I think Philadelphia could be pleased with their effort on this night. And the last game, just very briefly, the St. Louis and Arizona. I was extremely disappointed with St. Louis. I'll be honest with you. Here's a team that you think has some veterans that realize that, there's only about 30, 32 games left in the season. They needed to really push hard to try to get into a playoff position, and they lay an egg like they did yesterday and lose 5-0. Like, I get it that they've had injuries and they're a bit of a more, an aging, slower team. I'll give them that. But you know what? They gave the distinct message last night to their GM that they should be in seller mode come trade deadline time. They're no longer in the category of buying.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about this. Great resume what happened yesterday for sure. We want to welcome back Mr. Stefan Manberg. Mr. Nortap knocked the door.
Hey, welcome, Stefan.
So welcome back, Mr. Stefan. Then we have another one pop up earlier before him. And I said, Richard Molin, Mr. Notap, is in the house. Richard Molin, speed
Oh,
recovery with
welcome.
your foot. And about that
Hopefully
one there.
everything's okay.
Yeah, hopefully he's doing well. You're absolutely right. The old school. We wish the best for Michael One. He got hurt during the game last night, so we don't like to those happenings or the fight, everything like that. So Michael One for the PFL. But what a whole scare. The Flyers in 1970s last night. And for me, what I remember the most about what I took out of this game is on the top is the Flyers dream to have a team like Minnesota Wild. Like it doesn't say like exactly like the Wild. Many teams will have to be like the Wild. They are skilled and they are tough. And this is not many teams in NHL are this way there. The Blues has been this way for a couple of
Yeah.
years, but now they're not. They are this season. But I think that's what the dream of Minnesota Wild for many other teams. That's the one where the Flyers would like to be a tough guy but skilled at the same time. You can see the mix, the players like Erickson, AK example. You have the Foligno, you have Grela, and then you have the Zuccarello, the Zabrinov, and the defenseman and the goaltender. So I think for the Flyers, that's what they dream to become one day. I think that's what I saw out of this game, Mr. Notap. What about performance?
Yeah.
We talked about yesterday the problem with the Pittsburgh looking for the goaltender, but this meant pop up last night with a great performance of 43 save, I think, or 45 save again, the Washington Capitals. Whatever they lose in shootout, we cannot blame his performance yesterday. Talk about the balls, you're absolutely right about this. And then the Buffalo Sabres, what? Who did beat last time, Mr. Notap?
Are we going to go there? The Winnipeg Jets.
The
But don't
Winnipeg
worry.
Jets. Nobody
Don't
believe me. They
worry.
think, no, coach, you're absolutely
Oh,
wrong. The
coach,
Winnipeg Jets
coach,
are
coach,
great.
coach.
But I would say to you, Mr. Tap, remember this one.
Make
We
the
know
same,
Toronto.
coach. Make the same. Yeah, go ahead.
We know something. The Toronto played again in Tampa Bay the first round. The team is going to play the first round again in Minnesota Wild at the playoff. Whatever they win, they lose. They're going to get bruised. They're going to get hurt. So the very important Central Division to not meet the Minnesota at the beginning. We know Colorado is coming now in the race. They cannot lose a lot of game Winnipeg and the Dollars. So it's very interesting about this for that one, Mr. Natap, about this. So the Buffalo Sabres, congratulations. They are now in the wild card with a winning
Yeah,
percentage. And
they're going to
if I
make a
was
run for it,
Washington and
coach.
Pittsburgh, I will be looking behind. And if I'm Florida Panthers, this is not good news for them because now the Florida Panthers have to fight with not only Pittsburgh, Washington, they have to add Buffalo and Detroit at the same time. So when you raise a spot a 5 team, you can win 2 games. But if you lose again one game, you not go enough. So and they are right now to the Florida Panthers to make the playoff. It's about 6-7 W every 10 game, and they have only 31 game to go. So just give you an idea how what happening in front of them is not going to
And
be easy. So
and you're going to see a lot more games go to overtime and shootouts. That's
yes,
the other thing. Like
that's a
last
great
night
point
alone,
about that.
eight, eight games, and 3 of them went to overtime.
Yeah. So we interesting to follow for sure the Florida Panthers for the better race, Mr. Tap. Nothing changed last night, but Montreal Canadiens got something big last night, Mr. Tap. Overall, the Florida Panthers are still 20 in the standing, but Montreal still at 26. But they are right now closer. The Panthers feel the Detroit Red Wings, the Nashville Predator, and the St. Louis Blues behind them for sure. It'll be interesting. We have a couple of new things. First of all, let's talk. We have about 8-9 minutes. First of all, the review game between the Montreal Canadiens and Detroit Red Wings. Usually, we want to bring this out of the subject. We pay attention to talk more about the game. I put RHP, Caulfield, and Munson and Monahan. So talk a little bit more what happening, what you saw about the game last night between the two original 6 team in NHL.
Well, what stood out for me is from Montreal's perspective, it was the perfect kind of game, right? They were in it the entire game. I love the energy that we're now getting out of the fourth line. They're coming in there, and not only are they playing with a level of energy and bringing a lot more hitting to the game, but they're also contributing on the score sheet, which is amazing. Like Petzetta, RHP, and it's fantastic, and that's what you need out of a fourth line. We were talking earlier this year about replacements. Well, I think yesterday RHP gave the perfect message. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay on this team, and it's going to be a hard decision to send him down if they do at all. I don't think they will, because he's very valuable now to the team. And the difference between before and now is on the fourth line before, when you tried guys like Drouin and Hoffman and Dadanov on that line, they were all upset. Remember, we used to talk about, look, they're at the end of the bench and they're all moping and crying, and these guys aren't. They're saying, just give me a position, let me go out there and let me show you what I got, and that sometimes makes a difference in the world. Um, Jake Allen yesterday, I thought he made some very good saves. I mean, he was a bit rusty, especially in the first period, I thought. But between him and Husso, just some fantastic saves yesterday, Coach. Oh my goodness! Like RHP could have had that hat trick yesterday, but what a save that Husso made towards the end of the third period, or was it overtime? I can't remember now.
At zero
But
point 0.1 second at the end of the game, Mike Hoffman on the
at the
back
end of the
door.
game, yeah, exactly, and Hoffman as well. And then, as similarly, a couple of great glove saves by Jake Allen on the other end. He did face, it didn't look like it, but he did face 42 shots. It looked like a
He
more
kept,
balanced game.
if we have 1 point last night because of Jake Allen at the end of the night, whatever what Pinot did, Allen keep the team and the game because
Yeah,
you have two
yeah,
game of two. So
absolutely. And those are really some of the key things that I took away from that game.
yeah, absolutely about that. We want to welcome back Randy Walkman is in the house, Mr. Natat. Welcome. Thanks
Hey,
to be with
welcome,
us.
Randy.
Vinny James 007 is in the house, Mr. Natat. So both of you, thanks so
Hey,
much.
Vinny.
About this. Other thing I want to talk about this, Cole Caulfield met the press conference, did the media today, talk about injury. It's happened like 6 weeks ago. The first time happening again at Dallas Star when he fall on his right shoulder. And then after that, a couple of weeks after that, more game after, he got another fall on the board. Again, a Nashville Predator. So he was discomfortable, but still can play. But when he knew he need a surgery, it take about 7 months or 8 months max. I bring him to about like in September. So they took that decision
Right.
to go that way over there. He's not worried about the contract. We'll talk about more about Cole Caulfield tonight, but I just want to share a little bit what happened with him when he made the medium tap. And then bad news for Joel Munson. It's funny. Last night, the Montreal Canadiens are I don't know. He left the game because of lower injury a lower body injury. Then he woke up this
Right.
morning, he have an upper body injury. So I don't know what happened between 10
It
o'clock
moved.
and
It
6
moved
a.m. in the
up.
morning. But if you think about this women's on tap, is like I've been there. I know how it works. The lower back problem. It's happened this way. You can have a pinched nerve. You can have something filling the lower body, and then it's going to be on your back after that. So this is not good news for the Montreal Canadiens. He's not going to play again Ottawa the next two games. Then you have 11 days. So give him about 14 days to rest. Maybe what happened about this? Because when you consider this, he's on the trade bait on the deadline to maybe get trade. So that's not good news for the Montreal Canadiens. Talking about this yesterday, Mr. Natap, I make a video about Sean Monahan. First of all, I'm on end link to Colorado Avalanche. You have to watch my video, Mr. Natap. I will, you can watch this.
Good.
I talk about the review game on Montreal Canadiens and Sean Monahan last night. And then tonight at 9 o'clock, we will be with me and you together. We talk about the Montreal Canadiens, the trade deadline, the IHP, and need to stay, and talk about all the news around the Montreal Canadiens. And finally, Mr. Natap, I got a picture of you and Danny. Remember, like when we were 17 years old, 16 years old, we want to, you have a job during,
Oh boy.
part-time job. You want to make some kind of money. And both of you start in Ontario. I did not know that. Came from someone, and then you start the new Zamboni driver skating. with Danny and you together. So really interesting. You know, some people work at the Walmart, some people go to other store. You guys said no, we love hockey. We need to work some kind of Zamboni. So congratulations, both of you, and hopefully you make some kind of money during your time with. I think it
Yeah,
was it's called the Toronto Marlies, I believe. That's why you start your
the
part of
Marlies.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's happening about that one over there. So that's happened about this. But talking about Shamanin, another bad news for Shamanin, and this is a bit concerned. Montreal Canadiens tried to be transparency about injuries, but Manuel came back a couple of days ago. Remember, he wore a no-contact jersey, and Ellen talked about this a couple of days ago. He's back on the ice. So this is since December 28th. He tried to skate, and then he straight again, and now he does not skate for the last 3 days. So who knows what's going on with Sean Monahan? It's not good news on the trade deadline, Mr. Natap. But I just want to share
or it
this.
could be, or it could be, Coach. It could be the opposite.
But if you look about this, when the
He's
Montreal
being
said day
hidden.
to day, it take 1 month. When they said we have to reevaluate, it takes a little bit longer. So I'm not trust what they said all the time for sure, Mr.
No,
Natap. But
I know, but it could also be some type of mandate where if the opposing team that wants to pick him up, i.e., Colorado, is saying, "I want you to play him as little as possible and not risk any injury." This could be part of the reason as
yeah,
well. I'm
possible.
not saying that it is, but it could be.
Yep. A couple of news around the league, Mr. Natap. Austin Matthews out. Here we go. My prediction of the October 12th is done. I said you guys going to be 68 to 69 games this season, and that's the reason he's not going to reach that goal. And I wake up this morning with a great message of Marco Larabi. He sent me a text. You're right again, Mr. Coach, about that one over there. I
Right.
knew Matthews not going to be a full year this season, and it's happening. 3
Did
weeks
you
for him. And
did you get
when you
my
have a hurt
text?
on the knee, Mr. Natap, it's not good.
It's not good, especially when you're talking about a sprained knee. It's something that takes time and always lingers. And
Uh,
you know, yeah, go ahead.
I was just said refer to Sakaski, Jake Evans. You know what I mean? They got like 8 to 12 weeks, and now with only 3 weeks. So would be interesting to see the gravity of the sprain knee. Maybe right now they just evaluate for 3 weeks. It could be a little bit longer. And
Right.
they don't have to rush him, Mr. Natap. They play against Tampa for the first round anyway.
Yeah, exactly. They know who their opponent is. It's just a matter who has home ice advantage.
Yep. Yeah, but anything you want to add?
No, I was just going to say, in Matthew's case, I think it's the effect, and we've talked about this before. It's the effect of what's happening because teams are taking liberties at some of the Toronto Maple Leaf stars, and it's a consequence of the fact that they don't have players on this team that are going to stand up and protect their star players, and that's going to hurt them if this guy doesn't come back. It's a big gap in the Toronto lineup. They need to get tougher.
Yep. About this, no sorry cap. I'm told to maybe Paul Kucherov situation for William McClary about the Matthews. Bernier, the maybe possibility win the Calder Trophy is going to be out for the weekend.
He's hurt.
So it
Yeah,
hurt. Nick
he's
West
hurt as
out
well.
at the filet. This is another bad news for Columbus because Nick West is going to be a UF free. Another one out. The Calgary announced Danev is out, missing a top with injury, and Schultz for the Seattle Kraken, another blur, is out with no information.
Big hole.
Finally, Mr. Natap, the NHL news. What is the most disgusting in hockey? Last night, we saw at the Tampa Bay Lightning, guys, behind the bench of the Boston Bruins, a guy, and, he looked like a dinosaur. He put his tongue out and he licked the glass behind Brett Marchand for about 30 seconds, all the way like this. And it was pretty disgusting if you watch him. Funny to see that.
Show us again, Coach.
Funny to see that, but really disgusting. So my point to ask you people, what is more disgusting? A guy licking the glass Is it a guy, a player drop his mouth guard on the eyes, it's to pick it up back on the eye, on the mouth, and let's go play hockey? What could be more disgusting in the
Oh my
smell maybe
gosh.
of the hockey bag? I don't know. But I just want to share what happening between the Bulls last night and
Or
the Boston Bruins about this.
or
We're not
Don
going to go
Cherry
deep.
kissing you on live TV.
Yes, possible about that. I don't want to go too much nice. We're going to talk about this more tonight. But the Brinket extension, we know, is a RFA is going to get about $9 million. Ken Ottawa Senator is willing to pay that money and can him a 1 year only or many years. The Max Strom lost his job number one, I believe. Vladar get number one now. Really another bad performance for him. I feel the pain for him, unfortunately. But we're going to talk about him tonight a little bit later. And then Barkov now got the
You
spot. He
remember
take
who
the
said that
spot
last
of
year,
the.
Coach?
Sorry again?
You remember who said he last
Yeah,
year
you
that he
said they're
was going
going
to
to
have a
get that one over there, the
yeah,
the Calgary Flame
regression?
about this one over there.
Yeah.
Again, cap, but it will be Sunburn. We have a goal. We want to congrats, Mr. Nata, put him at the boss. Gary C with a hat trick last night for the warm-up show.
All right,
Congratulations.
Gary.
It's time to put him there. Unfortunately, Mr. Type is alone, but it's okay. It's not it is what it is for the weekend on the boss. It's not a big deal. We wish him a good time. Congratulations, by the way. What a great performance about him last night, Mr. Type, a hat trick. It's not happened a lot, but he did it again for everybody. In the time now, Mr. Natap, to take the bag. The bag is full tonight, Mr. Natap, so we have to go to bag number 2.
Oof.
We'll take the bag number 1. Both of them are in action tonight because we have to go. Now it's going to be full over there. King Danny all set up there. I think right now Richard Monet is close, Mr. Natap, to get the leaderboard. We're going to follow this Monday. Parce we add a name over there. But it's time to put the people in the jail, Mr. Natap. We have a few people knock the door. Ladies and gentlemen, John Mickelson, Peter Martin, Double J, and then Richard Mullen, all 4. So you have to go to jail, but not to go with more people. They did it together, Mr. Natap. And are you ready, Mr. Natap?
Ready.
He'll knock. Here we go. That's it. That's all for them. They are done. Obviously, enjoy your weekend. We have a lot of food for them and for you guys. Don't worry about that. If not, you can call 7-Eleven, and then Danny's going to deliver those kind of food you need during the weekend. But we have 8 games on the top. We have about 24 minutes. That's not too bad. That's what happened.
We'll do that indeed.
Dan Hashem is in the house, Mr. Natap.
Hey, welcome, Dan. Always comes through for us when we need that 100th like in the Montreal games.
Yeah. We need him. He's always the right man at the right time about this. So thanks so much, Mr. Danny. And Colette.
And Colette as well. Yes, indeed. Well, Coach, these teams are both really struggling. If as of late, if you look at their records individually and collectively, the Islanders have seen tougher days though than the Red Wings in the last little while, but they're still just slightly ahead of Detroit in the standings. I mean, the losses have been more a result of lack of goal production rather than lack of goal prevention, as far as the Islanders are concerned. Among NHL ranks, the Red Wings are in the 20s in goals scored per game, goals allowed per game, their power play, their penalty kill. So they're right in the middle of the pack right now, Detroit. And so you're seeing the effects of this team. It's developing, but they fall short, I think, of getting near a playoff position. The Islanders, they've been even more snake bitten.
Mr. Natap,
yes, sir.
I don't know. Let me check something.
What's up?
Dernier, C.H. Owen Beck. Nobody heard about Owen Beck maybe call up?
No, I didn't hear that.
So it's a. I'm watching TV in French, right? But I cannot listening what he said. I don't know. It's maybe call him up or not. It makes sense. So I don't know. So someone can figure out this one. I don't know. They talk about possibly call up, not. But
Yeah, I don't see anything on Twitter.
I wouldn't be surprised they play in Ottawa this weekend, Mr. Nata.
Oh, that would be neat. It'd be
So
great
I
to
just
see
want
Owen
sharing
back
with
up.
you again. I apologize, but
No, it's okay. It's okay.
it's live on TV right now. So
We break the news as it comes, Coach. We have
I
to.
don't know. It's just like last hour, like dernière hour in French, but I don't know. It's a conversation about the fact they could call up Owen Beck. Does it make sense?
Yeah, yeah, for
So
sure.
sorry about that.
Um, yeah, just saying that really the Islanders, the last month of play has seen them go from a wild card spot that they've occupied to now looking sitting on the outside looking in terms of a spot, and they really can't let this get out of hand too much longer. They're averaging just under 3 goals per game. If you look at, I think it's the last 5 games, they haven't scored over 3 goals. And most of those have been either 1 or 2 goal games. Not very good in 12 of the 14 recent games. That's been the biggest problem. Um, these teams did meet earlier this season. The Red Wings took away a 3-0 victory in that game as well. So tonight could bring a similar result. The problem is, of course, goaltending situation. Detroit looks like they're going with Hellberg against Sorokin. So that and the fact that the Islanders are at home, and I think it's they're in a little bit more of a desperate state than Detroit is. I'm going to go with the Islanders to win this one by a score of 4-2.
I'm trying to watching. It looked like it's real, Mr. Natap, but I'm trying to get on the TV on the website. Mr. Natap, what you said?
You mean the score? I don't
Yeah.
want to repeat the rest. Yeah, Islanders 4-2.
Oh, you said 4-2. I said 3-2. Okay. All
Okay.
right. All right.
You took the Islanders?
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. I listen to you.
Okay, good. All right. What do we have next?
I did what Danny does. He doesn't listen to you.
Of course, yeah. Oh my goodness, Florida, Florida, Florida. Here we go. This one I changed my mind on, primarily because the goaltending matchup is Copley against the. Um, I think you pronounce it Lion and not Leon, but they had brought up Spencer Knight, and by all intents and purposes, they were going to play him, but apparently they're keeping very quiet about this, but it seems like he's not quite physically ready yet, and so they're going to have to go back to their third stringer here before Bobrovsky comes back into the fold. But what can we say here? The Kings, they're leaving one sunny location to go to another in Florida. On November the 5th, these two teams met in LA. And actually, it was a very exciting game between the two. The Kings ended up defending home ice in that game. And now the Panthers will obviously look for some retribution tonight. They've fallen now behind. Florida has. They've fallen behind the Sabres, as Coach mentioned earlier today in the Atlantic Division. They're now sitting in fifth place. The Panthers were the league's best regular season team last year. So coming into the year, there were high expectations of that continuing. However, they're really nowhere near that expectations, that level. And I think the primary reason behind it is their defense. It just they don't have the horses that can keep the puck out of the net. Scoring wise, offense, they're actually not too bad. They do get their share of goals, especially when they play at home, which they are tonight. But I think uh, they won't. They're not going to have an easy night tonight against LA. LA is a much better balanced team, and I'm going to take LA to win this one. It'll be close, but I'm going to take LA 5-4.
5-4, Mr. Tap.
Yeah. Breaking news.
Breaking news. The Montreal Canadiens announced a call up from the Peterborough Petes. Mr. Owen Beck going to play with the Montreal Canadiens. Owen Beck called up for the 2-game before the All-Star game. So he's going to join the team tomorrow night against Ottawa, and Tuesday going to play against Ottawa Senator. Again, is a back-to-back game. Senator confirm Owen Beck with the Montreal Canadiens roster.
It'll be interesting to see how they utilize him. Or where they'll put him, and probably on the third line, I would say.
It's no matter.
Yeah,
I prefer to see Beck watching
the fact that he's up
anyway.
Is
What you said again, Mr. Tap?
I don't know. I even forgot. I think I took LA 5-4.
Here we go. I go with the Florida Panthers, Mr. Tap. I go with my brain, not with my heart. So if they lose tonight, I am happy for you. You beat me, and I'll be happy because again, Florida is going down. So at the end of the day, it's a winner about this one. And don't forget, this breaking news confirmed by Ellen Key, Mr. Natap, confirmed about the Owen Beck. So I just want to sharing this with you about this. She did it. She said to us about this update, Mr. Natap.
That's great. Thanks, Helen, for confirming that through our friend, Marco D'Amico.
Yep.
Next we have, I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup here, Coach. Ottawa and Toronto never tend to disappoint. There's no love lost between these two teams. You know, the Senators, they're looking for their second consecutive victory on tonight when they visit the Leafs. They've collected 45 points and are sitting in 7th right now in the Atlantic Division. 35 points behind the Boston Bruins. You know, they defeated the Islanders 2-1 on Wednesday with Giroux scoring the winning goal. Stützle is their leading goal scorer right now with 20. Tkachuk is their leader in assists with 30 and also in points with 47. In terms of scoring, they're averaging 2.85 goals per game, and they allow 3.26 goals per game. So right there, that tells the story, right? Anytime your goals against exceeds your goals for, you're not going to win too many games. But tonight we are going to talk a little bit about at 9:00. We're going to talk about the Ottawa Senators a little bit more in depth. So please make sure you join us on the podcast there as well. The Leafs, well, you know, the injury to Matthews really is going to affect them, although they have some players that are having very good years, like Nylander is the leading scorer for the Leafs with 26 goals, and you know, Marner, of course, in assists with 39. Even Tavares has stepped up this year. They're getting some production from their back end as well. More importantly, to me, was the decision for the goaltenders. It looks like Ottawa's going with Forsberg. The Leafs are going to go with Murray. Although the interesting thing I saw today is, and I've observed during the games, is that Samsonov has really been their hot goalie. And I think a number of us, I think DANY, myself, even Luciano, Jose, we'd brought that up at one point that there'll come a point in the year when we think that Samsonov will take over for the Leafs. And they seem to be at that crossroads right now. Murray was kept on the bench for a while, I think purposely to play in this game, to play against his ex-team. So he's in the net, but Samsonov has gone, I think it was 8-0-1 at home. So, you know, that's a pretty remarkable record right there. I think at home the Leafs are a better team. I'm going to go with the Maple Leafs to win this one by a score of Uh, 5-2.
5-2, Mr. Notap.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you to listen me.
Okay. And
Willie Snyder, Mr. Notap, knocked the door.
hey, Willie, welcome
And by the
aboard.
way, tonight, Mr. Notap, we're going to have the prediction of Dan Hashem. I take all the note he put right now. So Dan Hashem is going to be on the spot Monday night, Mr. Notap. So I just want to share it
We'll
with
put it
you.
on.
So glad to
Or
see him.
Dan, just send it to the email. It's a lot easier. But sure, we'll do it. We'll do it for him. San Jose and Carolina. The Sharks, they continue their 8-game Eastern Conference road trip when they play the Hurricane tonight. The Sharks have struggled lately with only 2 wins in their past 10 games, which includes the starting 0-3 so far on this road trip. The Hurricane, however, is starting to really heat up. They've won 5 of their last 6 games, and currently they're in first place in the Metro Division. They've The way I see it, the Hurricane have numerous advantages here. They've been playing some really good hockey, as I mentioned on the attack. They've showcased the top 5 offense over the past 2 weeks, which was a bit of their Achilles heel. But if they can continue this now, that's definite good news for them. And it comes also when Pacioretty got hurt, and they were expecting, obviously, to get some added offense from him. Um, they generate, scoring chances consistently. They rank second in expected goals in the league. With the big key takeaway being that they're converting on these opportunities. It's one thing to have an expectation and then not realize it. In this case, they're doing both of those two things. I like Carolina in this spot. It looks like it's Reimer against Ranta tonight. And I'll take Carolina to win by a score of 4-2.
42. Confirm. Mr. Notap, that it. 4-2.
And you have 5-2. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Vegas and New York. Here we go. Talk about, big city tickets here. After the Golden Knights had to visit New York to take on the Devils in their last game, they're now starting a short trip to New York to face and take on the New York Rangers. That makes 2 games in a row playing what some fans would consider maybe a Stanley Cup Finals. Who knows? Not the way Vegas has been going lately, but definitely the way they were playing earlier on in the year. They haven't been looking great in the last little while, even though they sit atop of the Western Conference or close to it now. They're dealing with some key injuries. Even though Eichel's been back, the Stone, you can really feel his absence on the team. And that's sort of what is really at their heels. Also, we've seen a little bit of a regression in Thompson's game. So tonight it looks like it's Hill that they're starting against Shesterkin. And when I see that, for me, Shesterkin is one of the top goalies in the league.
Alak.
I think
Alak confirmed, Mr. Notap.
Oh, is it Halak? Has it been
Yep.
confirmed?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's not good news. I might have to rethink this now. I had originally, I guess here, the Rangers by a score of 4-3. You know what? I'll stick to it, and we'll see where that goes. But
Here we go. You're glad you listened me again.
yeah, I just hope Halak is up to it.
New Jersey, Dallas Star, Joseph Laham.
Oof, 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 oof. Here we go, right? The Devils, they're completing a short 2-game road trip tonight in visiting Dallas in what will be their final matchup of the regular season. The Stars won the first meeting 4-1 behind a very, how should I put it, like a staunch defensive performance. And I would probably expect the same thing tonight. These are two teams that like, especially Dallas, they like to play that type of game. The Devils would like to get the offensive side going more so than Dallas, but they both rank in top 7 defenses in the league. The Devils, they're allowing 2.67 goals per game, and the Stars are allowing 2.56. Very little to pick between those two. Vanacek against Ottinger are the goalies. I'm going to go with the home team. I think Dallas has gone through some rough times. And of course, who's back? Rupi Hintz. And that might set them straight after experiencing a little bit of setback in the last week or so. So I'm going to go with Dallas by a score of 4-3.
Mr. Tap, go with Dallas 4-3. Congratulations, Mr. Tap, to listen to me again.
Oh, wow. Okay. And New Jersey's on a back-to-back, I believe. Yes, they are. Yeah.
Joseph, c'est 4-0
Ah,
Devils, Mr. Tap.
no, Joseph, come on. That's they're on a back-to-back. They're going to be
The
tired.
game of the night, Mr. Natap. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Natap, we won't talk about this tonight, but 1 point difference between the Seattle, the Lesson Kings, and the Vegas Golden Knight for the number 1 and the Pacific Division. If I ask you who's going to finish first at the end of the year, which team?
Of these two,
Or 3?
I don't think either.
Seattle,
I
the
don't think
Kings,
either one
and
of
the
these
Vegas.
teams. And Edmonton.
Edmonton is not there yet.
No, but I don't know. Seattle has money to play with, and I think that they might make one or two key moves, even though it's not Francis' mo. Like when he was
You
with
have no choice, Mr.
Carolina.
Natap. You have no choice. When you look down, right, those players will look up and say, hey, buddy, you better to bring some God here because right now we work our ass off every freaking night. So you better to bring some players. So I think Francis had
Yeah,
no choice to move.
I agree. I mean, he's just a little bit hesitant to pull the trigger from previous years that I've seen him with when he was with Carolina, and even last year didn't do very much. But you're right; he might not have a choice. So we'll see where this goes. I don't like what I'm seeing in Calgary. Last night was pretty much a testament to that. I think Seattle, even though, like I said, they're going through 12 very tough games so far, they're doing their job. I mean, they're 2-3 to start off those 12 games, and I think tonight they're going to win again. I'm going to take them 3-2. It's Vladar against Jones. Um, I think Calgary will have a bit of a pushback because I think they were kind of embarrassed yesterday, losing to the Hawks. Get a game that they needed to have. And now, if they want to win this game, they're going to have to go out there and earn it. But I just think Seattle has a lot to throw at them, and unless Jones has a bad game, I think they should follow through and win this. So I'm going to take Seattle 3-2.
Seattle 5-3. I expect a lot of goals. We know Seattle can score, and then Calgary can give a goal sometime, and then
Yeah,
yeah, I have to give them about 0.896 for Jones. That's his normal game. So 5-3 is on the top.
yeah, yeah. And our last game, wow, wow, wow. We're talking the bottom of the league here. Uh,
Did
well,
you hear
this
Mr.
this game
Tap the
represents,
Seattle Kraken
yeah,
fans chance the sing the Bruce here he is.
Bruce. Well, that's understandable because they're close rivalries between the two. Even though Seattle's only been in the league two years, the interesting thing will be: they're in Vancouver tonight? Are they going to keep chanting that because
Yeah, but when you be on the road, the next game is going to be after the All-Star game against the New Jersey Devils.
wow.
So I'll be interesting. The Devils fans, they are tough people there too, right? The Islanders tough
I
people,
know,
fans there too.
I
So
know.
it'll be interesting if they can continue to do it. I feel sad for Rick Tocchet; does not deserve it, right? But
Yeah, I agree with that. But I don't think Bruce Boudreau deserved that type of finish either, though. This represents, speaking of Tocchet, it represents his third game now as head coach of the Canucks. It comes against the Blue Jackets, of course. His tenure so far started off with a nice 5-2 victory in which they outshot Chicago by a margin of like 47-14 or whatever it was. However, the next game they really embarrassed themselves at the hands of the Kraken. They were never in that match, and it precipitated those comments made by Tocchet afterwards, and saying that the team was a bit soft, things that you don't like to hear as a player. Tocchet even seemed visibly and verbally upset with his team after that second game. This is something that the Canucks players, I think, have taken notice to. Now, how they react to it will be the key thing here. Are they going to sit back and say, well, you know what, this guy hasn't been with us more than 2 games, and here he is already calling us soft? Or do they listen to him and say, you know what, we did lay an egg in that last game. We were horrible, and we need if not for just ourselves and to prove it to the coach, especially to our fan base, since we're playing at home, we have to go out there and play the game of our life. And I think they'll respond with the latter, just because I think they have some good leaders on that team, even though there's one or two that need to be moved to ASAP on that team, because I think they're starting to sort of infiltrate the dressing room and affect the other players that are going out there day in and day out. So I'm going to take that optimistic approach for Vancouver and say that they're going to win by a score of 5-3.
so I go with Vancouver Canucks at a score 5-3, a little bit 4-2.
4-2, and it's Corpusalo against Delia.
Yep, you're absolutely right about this one over there, about this, Mr. Natap. Wow, what a great show tonight, Mr. Natap. We go through the week again, under the week together for the warm-up show. We'll be back next Monday. And next week, you guys, is an all-star game, so it'll be a little bit different, but stay tuned with us. I'm going to give you the little board Monday with all the great job Mr. Natap does every single time. And don't forget, tonight at 9 o'clock, tonight, we are back together at 9 o'clock with Mr. ENORTAP, talking about Montreal Canadiens, and we're going to talk about fun news around the league. Join us 9 p.m. We'll be back together, Mr. ENORTAP. We just knocked the door. Mr.
Sounds
Jeffrey
great.
Coury knocked the door, Mr. ENORTAP. We welcome back from Taiwan. Thanks so much about this.
Welcome,
Yep, sorry,
Jeffrey.
William.
Welcome.
Tocchet is the same style like Tortorella, the old school about that one there. Don't forget, a couple of games start at 7 o'clock. The Toronto O's, the Ottawa Senator. Montreal play tomorrow night, Mr. Natap, at home on the road. Again, the Ottawa Senator. Tomorrow night, the Montreal Canadiens. Just call up, guys, if you don't know. Owen Beck, just call the call up. For that, we're going to follow this. At least, we have something you have to pay attention. Watch the game, Mr. Natap. Mr. King of Gamer just knocked the door, Mr. Natap. So welcome back, Mr. King of Gamer. Don't forget to come back at 9 o'clock, Mr. King of Gamer will be with us tonight, 9 o'clock, Mr. Natap. At the end of the show, we always ask you, Mr. Natap, what pay attention maybe in 30 seconds, 1 minute. What pay your attention on the weekend? Only 2 games Sunday, by the way. And then many games Saturday night.
For tonight, Coach, the Vegas and Ranger game is a big one for me. I'm looking to see what happens there. There's a lot of implications for Montreal because a lot of the teams below them are playing tonight, like San Jose and
Vancouver.
Who else? Vancouver. So those all have implications directly on Montreal. So Let's let them
Ottawa too,
lose
and then
and
you forgot
Montreal
one thing:
wins.
the Florida Panthers back-to-back game tonight. The Kings and tomorrow the Boston Bruins. They have to go at least only a 1-1 minimum or 0-2. That'd be better, but 1-1 I would be happy to see that. Give them 500, but I took the Florida Panthers only because I want them to lose.
It's a different song than last year, isn't it?
It's just fine. You're absolutely right about this one. Thanks so much, Mr. LUCIANO, for an amazing, great job during the week. We really appreciate it. Great, really thankful, grateful to having you. But before we leave, we want to tell you one more time. Again, Mr. LUCIANO, you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. You have greatness inside of you, Mr. LUCIANO, like you do every single time. Remember, you start your greatness right there with Danny. You start your first job, a part-time job. What a great moment you have on your life, of course. But be well, be healthy. Finally, we not only dominate your day, finally we dominate the first app. What, Mr. ENORTAP?
You're 2023.
He did it again. 2023. See you at 9 o'clock, Mr. ENORTAP. Have an amazing, great night dinner.
Good night, everyone. Have a great weekend.